A wise man maketh tools of what he has. You have to be open-minded.
They say A is for God, right?
It's sociology for engineers. In this course, A is for God, B is for the lecturer, C is for the extremely brilliant, D is for the clever, E is for everybody, F is for the unfortunate.
Schooling abroad has become a big, big deal in Nigeria today. Some people see it as a sign of status, while others see it as a subtle corporate strategy, while for many families, it has become a financial headache. I'm talking about people's parents selling properties, selling land, taking loans just to send one child abroad. I'm not kidding you guys. And with the exchange rate, on the other hand, keep misbehaving, cost of living overseas has doubled. And some returnees that are here are still struggling to get jobs back home. With all of this said, this begs the big question: is foreign education still worth it in Nigeria? Is traveling abroad to study still worth it? To help us break this down on Everyday Money Matters, we've got someone who works directly with students, parents, and schools. We have Mr. Adedotun Adeshina. He is the founder of P&M Educational Consult and the creator of Who I Go Be, a program helping young people discover their career path, purpose, and potential. Welcome to the show, Mr. Dotun.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, starting off with the big question on traveling, why do you think foreign education is such a big deal in Nigeria today?
All right. So what I would say is, just permit me to deviate a little bit.
Okay.
It's not just education, it's everything. So if you look at, if you want to buy a car and you're given the option of Innocent and the option of Toyota, which would you pick?
You're putting me on the spot, but yeah, I think we both...
It's gone beyond education. It's way beyond education. It's more than education. I think it's becoming like a way of life for us over here to pick things that are foreign to us than to use what is normal here. In fact, the people outside celebrate us more than we celebrate ourselves. So that's why the foreign education also seems to be on the high rise, while the local education is being diminished.
Yeah, but, speaking from your point, and I do like that perspective you gave on, the automobile industry. Do you think it's as a result of people opting for better quality? I know you can't speak for everyone, or solely about prestige, or just, the glamour of it?
Yeah, so you can look at it from both ways.
Okay.
In terms of quality, you cannot undermine what you have not used before, basically.
Yeah.
And in terms of prestige, definitely, you would just want to look better. But one of the things that I would say is, except you begin to look inward, you would not be able to relate with the quality of what you have, unlike when you're looking outward. And what I mean is, if you have not driven an Innocent car, you can't tell if it's better than a Toyota. But if you're looking for prestige, and then you will say things like, I'll rather cry in a Bentley. That's what it is.
Well, still, from your opinion with, or should I say from your experience rather, with getting to interact with a lot of young people, do you think still on foreign education, a lot of young people pursue foreign education, want to just travel to study abroad for the wrong reasons? I mean, like peer pressure, social media, or family expectations. I mean, there are some young people that once they're out of BSc, their families has literally become a reflex that, you are going for masters in the UK. They don't even consult the child, to know if that is what they want to do. Nor does the child even get to have a... Do you think that has, somewhat, plays a role?
Yeah, it plays a major role. Okay. In reason why parents still send their children abroad. And one of the things that it really undermines is the creativity of the child. That's why you have a lot of African scholars, a lot of Nigerian scholars in school. And then when you check on the list of inventors and the list of world shakers, you have these other children from the other parts of the world. That's why, because the 21st century education, which is being practiced all around the world, is much better than what we have over here.
Okay, so now let's talk about the cost value of things. Because as of today, to send just one child, and I'm not just talking about sending them abroad, to sponsor them for whatever amount of years they are going to use to study, I dare say that's enough funds to secure a land. Or should I say buy a car? I'm talking about you must be budgeting nothing less than 20 M as of Nigeria today for you to say you want to relocate to the UK to study. Do you have something to...
20 million is, you're not actually saying the right price. Okay, so from my last work experience, I worked with a secondary school, a high school.
Okay.
And we're talking about £70,000 a year for high school education.
Oh,
yes.
I see. Well, with the current exchange rate, Bruhaha, at the moment, still in this country, do you think it's somewhat of a smart financial decision for people to still opt to send their children abroad? Because at the moment, we do not just see people who are high-end income earners. We see even the middle-class Nigerians opting for it. Like I said, a parent would sell all he has just to send his child abroad because he believes, he sees it as somewhat of an investment. Do you think it's a smart financial decision from your perspective?
So it depends on how you look at it. If you can afford it, by all means, please do. But if you can't, what I would advise is guide that child's mind. Expose them to things that are more positive. Like, that's basically what they do over there. They expose them to more practicals than theoretical knowledge. And that way, hands-on helps them to learn better.
And would you say there are situations where taking such drastic decisions and, sacrifices, parents making such sacrifices are absolutely worth it eventually? And, there are some scenarios where they are just not.
More often than not,
okay.
The sacrifices are not always considered by the children. And one of the reasons why is the children are not also considered before these decisions are being made. Pardon me. So if I have the money, I won't tell my child that, would you like to go and study abroad? I would just tell he or she that, see, you are going to this school abroad. That's where you are going to be studying medicine.
You've circled back to them because parents making decisions on the behalf of the child.
And then the child is like, no, daddy, I want to study music.
Okay.
And then, the child is saying, the dad is saying that, hey, with whose money are you studying music? My money or your money? So at the end of the day, the sacrifices don't always get appreciated because even the child that is being sacrificed for is seeing it as a punishment and not a sacrifice.
Have you seen or witnessed any scenarios firsthand where someone who studied abroad somewhat regretted it because the ROI, return on investment, like I said, its parents see it as some sort of investment, didn't just match up to the commitment?
Yeah, so I have a personal friend. He went up after studying in Babcock. He went to a pilot school in Canada, and then he came back home. And you know what they were offering him? He says that I don't know where to place it. Is it my Babcock school fees or the money for the aviation school? So most times you cannot proportionally match these things. And then most times I would always tell parents is, what do you look at? So for example, what was the selling point for the high school I was working for? I say, in any continent of the world, in any country, in any continent of the world, 70,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So let's put that now in pounds, which is arguably one of the strongest currencies in the world. You are not going to be mixing with wishy-washy people. You're going to be mixing with future world leaders, children of world leaders, children of business moguls, children of world shakers. So what it means is that you have an opportunity to network. If not for the next 10 years, you're looking at the next 15 to 20 years. These people will be top where they are.
Yeah.
And then you can easily
the Nepo
network.
babies.
Exactly. So you can easily network with these people because you have grown a relationship when you guys had a pure mind at the adolescence and teenage years. That's when you guys met, and then those bonds tend to stay longer, even than friendships that are made in later years.
I absolutely agree, and you'll be surprised how far networking goes. I mean, networking networking can literally get you. Just speaking from personal experience, networking can get you through doors that even your CV and years of experience can't.
Definitely.
Well, so why do you think in some cases, some returnees still struggle to get good paying jobs despite all of this international accreditations?
Yeah, so I saw a statistic somewhere where it says that 80% of Nigerian workers still earn below 200,000. So the truth of the matter is, those jobs that will actually equate to their knowledge and their experiences are not so much here. They are not created, except they themselves go and create these things. They are not here. So they have to fall back to what is available, not what is obtainable.
Absolutely. So now let's get to Who I Go Be, your program that is built around, young people, them finding and discovering themselves. So from your work with young Nigerians, do you think many students select courses without understanding it for themselves, especially when they, opt to study?
100%. Like, there are only very few schools in Nigeria that have pathway managers and university advisors. You can count them on one hand. And these things are essential. So what gave birth to Who I Go Be for me is, after my NYSC, I went for after-school graduate development program done by Lagos State government. And the people I met, the things that were taught, and I'm like, where were you people when I was choosing medicine instead of hospitality management? So that was what gave birth to Who I Go Be for me. So I went through school going from medicine to marine science and then to biology education. So, and this happened over a span of 8 years.
Wow.
So sometimes I see it, some would look at it as a waste of time. But for me, it was experience gaining for this particular moment. So Who I Go Be tries to tell students to avoid the mistakes that we have made and let them know that they can move on.
And do you think foreign education can help guide students, that have not figured out their paths yet,
So it's a requirement for you as an international student to see a pathway advisor, and you would also have a university advisor. It's part of your requirements as a student. So more often than not, these students that study abroad always get to study what they enjoy and also get into the universities that are best for it. So for example, I want to study medicine. I wouldn't apply to Harvard. I would rather be looking at Brown University as one of the top league schools. I want to study robotics. I wouldn't choose Brown or Harvard. I'll go to MIT. Those are the things
I want to study law, I'll go to Yale.
Exactly. Those are the things that will help you. Political science, you go to Harvard. Those are the things that will help you to become not only a better student, but also a better graduate, because you have a lot of case studies around you in these colleges. It's not as if you can't study Harvard in any of the, you can't study medicine in any other school. But Brown University it's like a niche for it. Just like robotics and engineering is a niche for MIT. That's the way it is.
Absolutely, I agree. And so, from the perspective of the students, like we did give that background earlier that a parent can just wake up one day because they are the sole benefactor, in the family. And if a parent just wakes up one day and says they're sponsoring their child abroad, and the child doesn't have much of a decision in that, would you say that the child should ever, or it's an important factor for the child to actually sit back, or should I say take steps back to say, why am I question that factor? Why am I even going abroad? First off.
Yeah, so basically, I always tell my students, a wise man maketh tools of what he has. You have to be open-minded. Why am I here? What can I do better? So I'll give you a case study. Fela Nikolako Kuti was sent abroad to study medicine. But imagine the kind of disservice it would have been to the world at large. All that great music was put into medicine. Or imagine a Michael Jackson studying in MIT to be an engineer. It would have been disastrous. So for people who know what they want, for people who actually know what they want, there's no way, you can't fault it. There's no way you will filter it. There's no way you'll filter it. You would actually know that, okay, this is where this person is going to. And today, these people I've mentioned are one of the greatest minds in the music industry. So it's the same way for anybody who is given that chance. As I said earlier, Fela was sent abroad to study medicine. He went by himself to change from medicine to music. So that's one way to put it. All their minds is, this man will come out to be a doctor. Yes, he did, but not a doctor of anatomy, a doctor of music. He must be. So,
yeah, I think it's even a Nigerian thing. Should I say Nigerian parents somewhat giving priority to some certain, courses or professions. And one other important person I think that thread this part is the amazing Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She was equally sent abroad to study medicine. And she always wanted to be a writer. And she stayed open-minded, like you said. And although she thought that she would eventually, in a bid to write, she would get to start using her patient's experience to infuse in her novels. So I think that that's something Nigerian parents should take to consideration, getting to listen to their kids. So local versus foreign education. Dotun, is Nigerian education really that bad? I mean, let's be honest. I understand that Nigerian universities have strikes, outdated curriculums, poor, equipment, poor funding, but still, we see top fintech guys, these guys coming out of these same universities that we say I'm talking about amazing guys. I can't even start naming them. Coming out of these universities, I don't know to start, universities that are looked down upon, even in Nigeria, not even the private unis. So do you think we actually underestimate the power of Nigerian education?
Not just the power of Nigerian education, it's the power of Nigeria itself. And I remember speaking to a foreign doctor a few months back, and he says that Nigeria has the best medical colleges in the world. And I'm like, how do you mean? Like, please, why are you pulling my legs? He says, look at it. In my department, we have 7 top doctors. 5 of them are Nigerians. And they all studied in Nigeria before coming to the UK. So how do you explain to me that the medical school in Nigeria is not better than the one here? And the same goes for a lot of places. When you go to Wall Street, they'll tell you, in the top 50 earners in Wall Street, you have about 15 Nigerians, just Nigerians alone. And then you are wondering, and these people are people that actually studied in Nigeria and then just went abroad. So it's something that we really need to look at. And the way I see it is the muscle mass. Learning here is very rigorous. You have to learn under. I remember back then in Unilag when I used to go and read under street lights when there's no lights for exams. I used to go to the street lights are always on. So a few friends of mine will sit down under the street light to read because there's no lights in school. So those are the things that would actually, and then you now get to a place where there's light. Your lecturers will not come and intimidate you in class. You have your course material already given to you ahead of time. So you are not waiting for the lecturer to teach you a particular subject for you to learn it. You can learn ahead. And they also encourage you, even when you know more than your lecturer. I can imagine you correcting your lecturer in a Nigerian university.
You are ready to graduate.
Your carryover is almost as sure as a, as
they say A is for God, right?
Yes, sociology for engineers. In this course, A is for God, B is for the lecturer, C is for the extremely brilliant, D is for the clever, E is for everybody, F is for the unfortunate.
Interesting perspectives. So, on putting you on the spot at the top of your head, would you say there are local universities that can compete globally in terms of quality? Now, this isn't we giving free PR, to certain universities, but we're just trying to clarify the fact that the standard of education in Nigeria, from the top of your head, local universities that you think, at least in terms of value for money, can compete globally.
Definitely. So it's not particularly about a particular university. So we have very strong hands in different courses in different universities. So like the creative art department of University of Lagos is rated very highly because you have a lot of people who have passed through that place and are doing things globally. And you can also talk about medicine in Osu, that's Ogun State University.
Wow.
Basically, those are things that engineering in Unsuka, you have a lot of people that have that touch, when they go out there. So that's basically, I know for a fact that there are a lot of universities here that will compete globally and also excel, just given the right.
Okay. And so also, a lot of students, it has been ingrained in our minds to go after the certificates. Do you think up to an extent skills, mentorship, and simple experience surpass opting or studying for certification?
Definitely. That's where the world is going to. A friend of mine traveled in 2021 and his wife has been in the UK for a very long time. So when he got there, here he had done everything, IOSH, NEBOSH, and all that. And, he was going for an interview. And then, he's packing his CV, he's packing his certificates and all that. And his wife is asking him, like, what are you doing? They don't need that. They just want to know your experience. They want to see you do what you say you can't do. And I believe that the world is moving in that direction. It's not a function of, I can do it. I have the certificate to back that I say I can do it. Rather,
bring to the table.
It's I can do it or do it.
Do it.
That's what it should be. And then, if you look at experience higher, no matter how many MBAs you have, it will never beat years of quality experience. And what do I mean? So you want to earn, or you want to employ a head of finance, you have somebody who has graduated 5 years ago and has an MBA from Harvard, and you have somebody who has worked 20 years with Otto Anderson. Who would you pick?
Experience.
Definitely.
Okay, so I think definitely someone would pick experience, but now we are saying it's now a question of which. For instance, now a student, let's have the perspective of two students, they are both 20 years old. One opts for formal education after doing his BSc, MSc to specialize in something. The other one goes, for skill acquisitions, all these certifications, professional certifications, and the likes. Which would you say is a bit more? They both have the same 5 years, by the way.
Yeah. So okay. So it depends on how you put it. So imagine that he's acquiring skills in data processing and data management. He's already way ahead of the guy doing the MSc because data is key. Data is the future. But I can imagine him doing certifications in safety and environment.
Okay.
Is limited. Is way more limited than the person that has gone to do an MSc. So when you are going to acquire skills and acquire knowledge, you acquire the right ones. You have to acquire the right ones. And what I usually tell my students now is the top 10 paying jobs right now did not exist 10 years ago. So you have to know the right skill to learn and the right skill to acquire before you go and learn them. So for somebody who has done an MSc, yes, at the end of the day, it will still meet up with the person that has that qualifications if the person does not upgrade. And this is what I would say. So he has had all those skills. He has had all those certifications. After 5 years, he decides to go and do his MBA or he decides to go and do his master's. And my friend that has done his master's immediately is just starting up to learn those skills and trying to perfect those skills and get those qualifications. You know, by the time both of them tender their CVs, the one with the experience is regarded more than the one with the practical knowledge, the theoretical
Academic
knowledge.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dotun. It has been a very insightful episode. And from my perspective and from what we've heard, foreign education or studying abroad is worth it. Or maybe it's not. But one thing is sure, education is only valuable when you know what you are doing and where you are going. Foreign degree or not, clarity, mentorship, and skills equally stay prevalent. Till another episode on Everyday Money Matters, proudly brought to you by Nairametrics.